Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse, and today we're going to do a hero section. I think this will be probably easier than the side nav for sure, mainly because we don't need to import anything from the content management system. So we just need to bring in what we've done on the demo site. So let me show you in case you haven't seen that. So we're going to bring this section in, and just a little, little parallax effect. Not really a big deal. I don't think the text that's here or the link here is going to change very often. So this is fine if we just hard code this. And also the image for now, I'm just going to hard code. I'm not sure how often we'll want this to change, but for now, I don't know, maybe I'll use the same stock image or a random image. We'll figure that out when we get there. So the only thing that I've really worked on since the last time was putting this logo in. It needs probably some padding at the top and the bottom. I just got this in just a few minutes ago, so I haven't really worked on it. But yeah, it's not bad. A little bit different than the original because we got a new web logo, but it's not bad. Hey everybody, got some people in the live chat now. Let's see. Okay, Hezion says, I want to learn C++. Yeah, I don't know much C++, so we're going to work with it a little bit, but not really an expert. But we do have someone that's frequently in the live chat that's putting together some tutorial videos for C++. So I don't know if Umberto is in the live chat today or is watching, but Umberto, if you're watching, maybe you could give some info about your YouTube stuff. And I can't remember if you had some stuff up already or if you're still working on it, but anyway, let us know if you're here. Otherwise, when Umberto is ready, I'll definitely throw a link to his videos up here. So, because I'd like to watch them too, and so I could figure out a little bit more what's going on with this. Or I'm sorry, we're working on C#. That's what my mistake. Hezion said C++. We're working C#. So, and Umberto's working on C#. So my apologies for that. The camera froze already. Wow, we had so much luck with it. On Friday, it didn't freeze at all. So I don't know, I haven't done anything different. It just freezes some days and other days it doesn't. I said before I was going to try to work on using my camera as a webcam, or I'm sorry, my phone camera as a webcam, and I looked it up, but there's not. It would be a lot easier if I had Linux, but on a Mac it was a little difficult. Like, there's an easy way to do it with some programs on Windows, and there's a really easy way to do it on Linux. But on Mac, it's not so easy. So, so I'm stuck with this built-in camera that freezes. Alright, let's get started. Hey, Kevin's in the live chat. I haven't seen Kevin in a while. How's it going? Alright, so I think the first thing we'll need to do is work on this container. So if you see, we have a container div, and so we actually have several container divs going on here. So it's a little bit complex. I think there are more divs than are necessary on this page. So we'll see if we can cut them down. That might be good, just simplify things. But this first div you could see it wraps everything, and then it has margins on the side because it has a max width of 1280 pixels, and then it's set in, you know, margin 0 auto, so it's centered. So what we want to do is I think what the best thing will be is if we just completely remove whatever styles are on that, and then we just use the layout from Materialize. Going forward, I think my original intention was just to do a minimal amount to the home page and try not to affect a lot of the other components going on. But now I think we're just going to have to change a lot of stuff. I don't know that it'll work. It'll get really complicated to try to have a lot of different things going on. Try to cancel it all out. So my plan right now is to just get rid of a lot of what was already going on this site. So a lot of this stuff and the styles that went along with this, and then just rethink, okay, what do we really need on this page, and, you know, where are we going to put it, and then build it out with Materialize. And that's, if you're not familiar with that, it's like Bootstrap. It's a CSS framework, except it's material design. And yeah, I mean, I think that would be better, right? I mean, if we're gonna redo this, like, let's redo it. And as far as the interior pages go, there are quite a few interior pages, but they all follow like a certain pattern. So, you know, for each academic department, they all have their own page, but they're all the same template. And a lot of templates get reused for multiple things. So I think it won't be quite as hard as I thought. I remember last week I was talking about trying to just make our CSS selectors very specific so we won't mess other things up, but I don't know. I think it'd be better if we don't worry about that and go through. I really think we got a shot at redesigning, you know, a good bit of this. And if there are conflicts, if things look weird, then my camera froze again. Wow. And it was like in the same position. My face was in the same spot. So anyway, enough talking about it, but that's kind of my thought on it this week. I'm thinking a little differently. I don't know. Maybe after we dig into it, I'll change my mind again. But for right now, I guess I'm feeling ambitious about this project. Okay, so first things first, let's find that container div, and let's see. And you, by the way, you can check this out as I'm updating it. It's franciscan.edu/home-test, all together, home test. The code as of right now is not publicly available on GitHub. Hopefully I can get it publicly available at some point. Okay, so it's not here. It's not here. It's in the main. I really wish the file structure was a bit more organized here. This is not. Didn't really have a choice about that. This was all made before I even started working here. Landing page wireframe. No. Master pages. There it is. Oops. See, this is the part that's frustrating. So we have a master pages folder within the site folder that has mainmaster.cs and mainmaster, but that's not really the one that you edit to get anything done. There's a master pages folder that's a sibling folder of the site folder that has the same files in it, and those are the ones that really do something when you edit them. So, but there are other files in the site folder that seemingly do stuff when you edit them. So it's I have not figured out the logic of this yet completely. But I think what we want is here. And we want to format this as HTML. it's amazing how much you rely on, just something simple like the different colors in the code editor. Trying to go, I know if I try to go and have to edit something where I don't have the highlighting, it's difficult. Not impossible, but your eyes just get used to certain way that things are, and it's hard to pick things out of the code without it. Test master. Okay, yeah, I think this is what we want, and we should have the main. There we go. This is the div that I think we want to turn into our main div in terms of materialize. So let's make sure. Okay, so we have body, form, which we need the form. Okay, so the first div after that. Great, so this is header. This ends up being our header div, and then this will be main. So that's awesome. That's what we want. So what I'm going to do, and we'll see how much this messes things up, but I'm going to change it. Let me find out where that closing div tag is first. Body, form, it should be this one. Let's double check. I'm hoping it'll highlight up here. It did not. Footer, maybe it's not that one. Do they have the footer as, okay, I think they have the footer as being within the main. I'll have to double check, but I think in Materialize you put the footer outside of the main div. So we're not to the footer yet. That'll probably be the next video that we do, assuming we get the hero section done today, or if I finish it in the morning tomorrow. But I think that this is probably our div that we're looking for. So let's change this to main, and oops, I think I went too far. And then let's take all this out and change it to main. If it's just CSS that was happening with those tags, then we should be fine. If there was some JavaScript that was trying to reference those classes, then we may get some errors. But it's worth a shot. See if we can get it to work. So let's refresh, see what we have. I have DevTools open on the other screen, and there are no errors in the console. And look at that. So this was actually best case scenario in my mind. So automatically the styles that were making that a defined max width of 1280 pixels are gone, and we can see now. Let me find my main here. Okay, so the main is taking up the full page, which is awesome. It does have, we'll have to adjust it a bit. You can see it's kind of going up under the header. So I'm not worried about it right now. We have no content, but I imagine if we get some content in there, it might be cut off. It's only slightly being cut off, so we may be all right. But that's a good first step. So now we have main in there. Now we can start to put some things in here, and they should be full width, and that's what we need for that hero section. Initially, when before I got here, when there was the company that was hired for this site was building it, it was requested that the site be a full width site, and from what I understand, the people that work at my university were told that that would be much too difficult to do, which is insane to me, because I mean literally it's one line of CSS to change that max width. Now, would it throw off some other stuff you have to adjust? Probably, but to say it was too hard was, I don't know. I mean, maybe like best case scenario, the person just was unaware of what to do. I would hate to think that they were purposely misleading them, but I guess that happens sometimes. All right, so let's find out now what that section is, what goes in here. So I guess we'll look for this content above this line. Yeah, I'm not sure that I really want to get into making more of these. I'm going to call them components. I'm not really sure what they'd be called in .NET, but I don't know that I want to make more of these components. I think I may rather just try to work with what's already there. We'll see how it goes. If it's too complicated, then maybe it might be better to just clean up this structure and make our own, and configure our files like we would do maybe for some of our other projects, where we'd have a components folder and a folder for all our CSS, our images. I mean, maybe we could. I think at least at some point this may have been organized like that, and then it just got really messy. But for right now, let's see if we can find placeholder. Let's see if we can find where this is pulling some things from. Now I already found, let's see, my thing froze again. I'm gonna move my my OBS window to the middle screen, so I'll notice faster whether or not my screen's frozen. I actually have in the background this little, I don't know if you can see that, but I have a little USB like plasma ball going back there, so I thought that would be fun. Fun for you all to see that. Oh, and I forgot to set my timer, so let's do that. So we already started, so I'm just going to assume that we've taken, I don't know what time is it? Probably 10 minutes. I think we've taken it 10, so we'll see. I'll set it, but I'll keep an eye on that, and if we get down to it and it's like 10 minutes left, then I think we'll be safe to stop and do 5 minutes of question and answer. I do want to try to be done by 2:30 Eastern time, so just about an hour of a stream. I have a meeting at 3. Actually, I should double check, because when I said that, it just occurred to me that maybe my meeting's at 3:30 instead of 3. And if that's the case, I could go a little bit longer. Let's see. No, it is at 3. I was right. Okay. So I have a meeting at 3. So I wish I could stream for longer today, but oh well. I mean, I picked something that I thought we could get done, the hero section, in a short amount of time, so we'll try it. Yes, let me find out. I think the homepage wireframe, which I already have a test version of that. Homepage wireframe. I had a test version. What happened to it? Maybe it's in, I'm wondering if, there we go. That makes sense. Okay, so I was looking in this site section, but as I said earlier, I think that this site section here is just a copy. I'm pretty sure that this does nothing when you edit it, and at some point someone just copied it, and I don't know why you name that folder site instead of backup or something like that, but this is what we want. So we have this test home wireframe. I think this is what we need. Let's see. I think I already linked this up. Okay, so main test master code file. It's template test home wireframe. Okay. Content placeholder ID head. What was that? Main. So it was content placeholder main. I'm trying to find the name. Maybe it's in it's in here. Oh, okay, now I see. I kept wondering how I did this. So I actually did this months ago. I made these test wireframes, and but it was throwing me off because, as you can see, there's a lot in here, but there's not a lot on the actual page, right? There's nothing in that, the main section here, right? And even when I inspected it in DevTools, there's really not much there at all. But this is how I must have done it, and I really don't remember, but no one else has access to these files that would even attempt to do anything, so it must have been me. I came in here. In each section, you can set it to be visible or not. So there's, I think, there's like 4 main sections to the page. So these 3 sections, and then above it, there's like a top section. And so I just set everything to visibility false. So that's cool. At least we can selectively start putting things back in, and now I know at least what to do. So we already have this hero section here, so I'm just going to keep this. I'm going to remove everything that's in there right now, but I'm going to keep the name because that certainly fits what we're trying to do. And I'm just going to set this to true. If I could spell it, goodness. I'm going to set it to true. Now, hopefully we can see something after I refresh. I guess not. I'm going to double check and just inspect. Oh, actually, yeah, we do have something. Great. Alright, so you can't really tell, but there is, now we do have a hero section, just the bare bones of it. You can see it in DevTools, so you can see it says hero, outer wrapper, right? So we have this section with a class of hero. I don't think that was in there before. Oh, actually, now it looks like even though I set the visibility to false, we still have these outer, these outer divs. There's just no content being filled in them. Alright, well, let's see. Let's put some stuff in there and see what happens. Okay. So let's find our hero section. Okay, so this is what we need to keep that, and then okay, here's our section. Okay, I think we need to keep. I think we need to keep this alert. So I'm pretty sure there's some type of alert that would happen if there was an emergency on campus that should pop up. I've never actually seen it happen, but I think that's what this is. So whatever we do in this section, we need to incorporate this somehow, and maybe we'll try to test it and see if we can get it to pop up, because I don't want to mess that up in case there was some type of emergency. But everything else we should be able to get rid of. So we'll keep, well, let's grab our code first before I figure out what to keep and what not to keep. Alright, so let me grab, yeah, this whole thing here. Let's grab that, and that's going to take the place of our section. So I'm not going to have these section elements. What I'll have is a div with a class of section. That's how I have everything set up already in the CSS from the other site, so I want to keep it like that. As I said last week, these tabs are killing me, but I'm just gonna relax. It's amazing how like something little like that just bothers you. Okay, so now let's get rid of featured story, featured blog. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Okay, let's get rid of that part and this part. We do need to be careful about some of this, because I think we do want to. It's alright, I'll take it out because we always have a copy of this that we can refer to. Basically what I was worried about is at some point within this featured section there is, I think there was something that pulled in data about this featured story slider. Yeah, it was this featured story slider. Okay, I think we're fine to take this stuff out right now. And then we can always just look and put something else in if we need to later on. Yeah, so let's take this out for now. And we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore either. Now we will put so we want this alert still. I guess we'll put this in within our section here, since that's how it was before. Okay. Alright, let's save that. See what it looks like. And after I see what's going on here, oh, not bad. Not bad, we got some stuff on the page. Now, I think, yeah, I thought the image should load because it's just a CSS background. Alright, not bad. That was way easier than I thought. So, since we had a lot of the CSS pre-built, this just works, right? We had it in here. So, I kind of feel like my title, actually we have some weird stuff going on, so let's check out the CSS. I feel like my title is misleading because I said, you know, we're doing a parallax hero section, but I didn't actually demonstrate at all how to do it. You gotta be kidding me. I'm frozen again. I'm gonna have to watch this video at some point and just see, like, could you only see the live video for a few minutes for this whole thing? I'm gonna check my timer and then, okay, about 3 minutes. Alright, when that gets down to 10 minutes, we'll do our 5 minutes of question and answer. And then, sorry, I haven't been looking at the live chat. I covered it up with DevTools for most of the time. So if you ask a question, I will get to it. I'm not intentionally ignoring the live chat. I inadvertently covered it with DevTools. Okay, so what I'd like to do then, since we have it here and we have it working, what I want to do is figure out why this isn't centered, center it, figure out why we're not getting the color on this. We should have it. I'll see. I think I know why the color's not working on this, but we'll get the right color here because I don't want that color. We'll get this centered, and then in the process of doing that, we'll take a look at the CSS. You already saw the markup, the HTML. Extremely simple. But the CSS is where we have all this other stuff happening. So we'll take a look at that, and that'll probably be everything that we get to. So I doubt that that'll take the full 25 minutes of our next Pomodoro session. So we'll just get that done. Once we're done with that, then we'll do question and answer for the rest, and hopefully finish up around in about a half an hour. I looked at the live chat. Kevin says, yeah, most of the time we were frozen. That's crazy. I don't know if you remember. So a couple days last week I'd freeze on and off. Friday went the entire time. I think it was nearly 2 hours. Didn't freeze at all. And now today I don't think I can go 2 minutes without freezing. That's just crazy. I have all the same programs running. I've changed nothing. If anything, I've actually closed some windows. I had a lot more Chrome windows and tabs open on Friday. So, oh well. Like I said, I want to try to find a real webcam at some point, and hopefully just be done with this problem. I probably just took up the rest of the few minutes, so yeah, it's close enough. Let's do 5 minutes of question and answer, and then we'll finish up. Okay, I'm scrolling way up to the top now and try to get through as much as I can. Hey everyone, a lot of people saying hi. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Frozen again. Let's see. Okay, cool. Kevin, I just saw you said haven't done Parallax before, so I wanted to see how that works. Yeah, I'm going to show you just a super simple way to do it. You can do some really cool things a different way, and I'll explain the other way. I'm not going to show it right now, but basically I've seen the ways to do Parallax fall, for me, in my mind, at least into two main categories, and one is just plain CSS, and the other one is using JavaScript to track scroll and positions. Today I'm going to show you how I did this with just CSS, and then I'll explain a little bit of how you might want to do it in JavaScript. If you do want to see a better way to do it, check out DevTips. It's a YouTube channel. So DevTips has a video. I don't remember the name of it, but it talks about doing parallax effects. And I think it's been a long time since I've seen this video, but I remember there was some really cool stuff that was happening in that video, that he was doing some parallax at like different speeds and things, and having like 3 different images all appear to be going at different speeds over top of each other. It was just really cool. So he's actually, the guy that does that channel doesn't do a lot of videos anymore because he got a job at Google, and then now he's just really busy with that. But he did have a lot of good videos before, so I recommend that to learn some kind of more advanced techniques. But today I'll show you something really easy. There are so many messages saying that my camera's frozen. Yeah, okay, I just saw Kevin said legacy code. Yes, yes, definitely. This whole project is just going to be trying to figure out what's going on here and make the best of it. Okay, No Beer says, Jesse's search input looks much better, but when it focuses, and I'm looking, oh, okay, I see the rest of it. It comes up with height or border maybe that doesn't look very nice. are you talking about this search input or this search input? Which I should probably look at it on the on this site. So this one, we're still getting this thing where I need to fix this. It should not automatically go to the search page. Or maybe this one. Yeah, this one's the one. There's some stuff that's happening here that should not happen that I fixed on the demo page. So it seems like there's some things that I tried to override that aren't being overridden now, and I'm not sure why. So I'll have to check that out. Alright, Brian has the question, says, I'm probably unleashing a beast, but what's everybody using as a build tool these days? I'm still using Gulp because I'm finding Webpack overly complicated for my taste. Alright, I actually, for simple projects, so for, let me show you. For this project, which is just like static, like regular HTML, you know, CSS, JavaScript, I'm actually using Gulp for this. So I mean, if anyone wants to check out how I'm using it, this is on GitHub. Not on my GitHub account. This is on the FUS Marcom one, the same one that our last couple of projects have been on. But I have this starter template code there with Gulp. So. But I find for small projects like that, really simple ones, Gulp is extremely easy to use, and I do find Webpack to be more complicated and overkill. I'm sure that's just because I haven't taken the time to really study Webpack. Maybe if I had, I would use Webpack more. But when I'm working with React, I most certainly use Webpack. But almost always, I bootstrap the project somehow with either Create React App or Next. And they take care of the Webpack config for me. So, I mean, it's just one less thing that I don't have to learn right now and it helps me get started faster. Definitely want to learn it, you know, better at some point. Just haven't really taken the time to do that yet. Okay. Alright, cool. I did get to the bottom of the live chat. The timer just went up a few seconds ago, so we'll go back to this. I did want to see, Samson says, I like your videos, so thank you, Samson. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Alright, so let's start this Pomodoro timer. I think we'll definitely be done before this goes up, but let's just see what's going on here. First things first, and this hopefully will be an easy fix. I know that's hard to see. Maybe we should just change the color on that while we're in here. But let's see what's going on. Let's move this over and bring DevTools over here. I'm not sure where I had this DevTools from. We'll just get rid of that. But let's see why this should be. See, this center here should be going down. It should be inherited and everything within it should be centered. But it does not look like that's happening. I want to try to find it and see what's overriding it. Okay. So it is trying to be applied, but something is overriding it. So what is that? Let's find it. Let's go to our, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's go over here and look at our text align. So it's being aligned left, and there we go. Interesting. Oh, I see. This is really interesting. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's form and then P. So since this is more specific than just the center class, this is overriding it, but this is on it thinks it's in a form because, of course, this entire thing is in a form. So what we'll want to do then is we're probably going to run into more issues because this is within a form. So we may want to use a custom version of Materialize, but for now I'm not going to get into that. I think what I'll do is just yeah, in this case I'm just going to add on to our custom CSS file to handle this, and we'll see how much more. Maybe I'll have to check out the non-minified Materialize CSS just to see how many things are form specific. So for now we can just find let's find our CSS. There we go. And new design, and let's go to alright, let's just put this at the top here. So I'm going to say form.center center. And I'm used to Adam like just automatically giving me good suggestions. I'll need to get a similar package for Visual Studio Code. Been spoiled by that. Okay, so let's see if that worked. It should be specific enough now. Oops. I guess not. Are we still? It's still happening? Let's add one more. Let's add this P. Now this should do it. There we go. Okay. Alright, so that works. So basically we just got more specific with our selectors, and now we have this in the center. Let's add in, so Materialize as a class. It has these classes for text color and things, so unless this is, I guess it's being, something is overriding this right now. Okay. Yeah, our so the styles.css for, that was here for the original site is overriding this right now. So we're gonna have to put that white text class on both of these. Normally you don't have to. You can just put it on a container and it'll work, but let's put this on here. And put it here. That should do what we needed to do. Okay, I just looked at the live chat here, and Kevin says use important, and he says not pretty, but it can be helpful when dealing with legacy code. Yeah, definitely, it definitely can. Whoa, that's crazy! It still did not override that. Now I really want to know what's going on here. All right, let's see. It could be that I spelled something wrong. Let's check that first. class. Yep, I forgot the equals. Oh, I see that. Thanks, John B. I just noticed that you already caught that. That's the good thing. I should remember that more often. If something happens on a website and my thought is, how is that even possible? I should look for a mistake that I made. Because computers don't just do things differently, right? They just respond to what you give them. So if they're doing something weird, then it means I probably gave it something weird. Alright, cool. So at least we can see this text. And the last thing that I want to do before I show you this CSS for how we did this parallax is just check on this button. Now, I was surprised at first that we had this color, but I think what I had done on the demo site is I was using a modified version of Materialize. I took their CSS file and I went in and I changed their Sass variables. Because I think what I did was I imported all their Sass stuff and then just ran it through gulp and had it just all bundled together, with the custom stuff that I was doing. And so that's why we're back to this default stuff, because I brought in Materialize CSS from the CDN for this project. So what we could do, really we just need to change this background color, and yeah, let's just grab this for now. Let's just grab this whole thing for now. I'm gonna paste it there. At some point, I do want to add in my own variables into the Sass for Materialize, and then I'll run that through. Basically, what I'm going to do is just pare down all the CSS to what I just need for this site and take out everything I don't need. Then I'll convert that. So I'm going to do that with the Sass. I'll convert it just to plain CSS. Then I'll bring it in and use it for this project. But I'm not going to do that until we're almost finished. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what I need and what I don't need. So until then, I'll just have to put in a few things here and there to make it look right. And then I can, remove those places where I override things. So this is going to be one of those places. And let's see. I'll try to comment out the stuff that I think I can get rid of later on. So I'm just keeping. I just want to change the background color. That's why I got rid of all that stuff. All that stuff obviously will still be applied. We just want to override this. And I can grab that color from, let's see. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I don't see. Oh, here it is. There's the Sass. I was missing it. So we'll look at components here and go into variables. There we go. Of course, it's in alphabetical order. I should have known what the variables are. FES green, FES yellow. Okay, now I need to go to colors. So you can see where the variables are coming in here for our secondary color. I made it that yellow, but I'm importing that from colors, or color.scss. So you can see I've made these custom colors here. So anyway, this is all I want right now, just the hex code. But this is what we're going to do later on towards the end of the project. Okay. Alright, and that should do it. Give it a refresh. Alright, cool. So, I'm not sure if I'll... Oh, the hover. We didn't bring over the hover. Alright, let's do that. Hover. Oops, I forgot to click it. There we go. Alright, so... see that. So let's add the same thing for the hover. Actually, let's be a little bit smarter about that. Probably if I wanted to really make this better, I would have a slightly different hover color, but for right now, I don't really care. That's going to be handled automatically if we put in the correct variables into the SAS file. It'll like automatically lighten or darken things. So I'm not worried about it now. Okay. Alright. Oops. Do I still have the hover on? No, I don't. Doesn't really look like it's doing very much hovering now. Okay, I can see a slight change. Yeah, the change of color would be good, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Okay, cool. So we have this parallax thing going on. Let's check out how we did it. So we're in the section with the class of hero, yeah, with the ID of hero. So here's what we did. So our container div for that section, and so here we have, this is the entire section here. So we have a container div with the ID of hero, and then inside it we have another div, and that's what holds the text and the button. Okay, so right now we're just going to worry about this container div. So on that div, I've given it a minimum height of 80 VH. Okay, so that's 80% of the height of the screen. So that's VH is viewport height. I wanted it to just be 80 because you can do a hero section that covers the screen completely, and I do like that sometimes, but my boss would like it if some of the content down below were immediately visible, because the site right now has these little news stories and things immediately visible. So he didn't want to lose that. So I really wanted to have a clean kind of hero section, and said, well, why don't we do it like this? We won't have it be full height, but we'll leave space here for those other things to still be visible. So we'll get to that and build that section out at some point. But for now, that's why I didn't make it full screen. Oops. Alright, and here's the parallax part of it. So we've taken this image, and right now this is just a stock photo, and we've set it as the background image. Then we've set the background attachment to fixed. That's what the parallax is. We've also put background size cover, so it covers, you know, everything up. And then I've also done a few things here. So I've changed the image dimensions based on our media queries, so that on a smaller screen it would load a smaller image, and also different dimensions. So even on a smaller screen, you can see these are all landscape. This one actually changes to portrait, because at this point you'd probably be on a phone in portrait mode. So I like to do that. It looks a lot nicer on a phone when you're in portrait mode. One thing to note, one thing to remember when you're using this is this does not work on iOS. So usually what I end up doing is I do something just for iOS. So I don't think I did it. No, I don't see any special stuff, but for that, but I'll have like a special class. I'll check for if it's iOS and then put some sort of class on to change this, and then basically I can either use a JavaScript parallax effect at that point, or if I don't care about the parallax as much, I can just have the image in there as just a normal image that has no effect. So I haven't tried it with any of the newer versions of iOS. It's probably been like a year since I've tested it, so maybe it's different now, but it was like that, you know, a year ago. And that's it. That's all you need to get that parallax effect. Now, if you did want to do this with jQuery or JavaScript or, you know, whatever, I mean, a lot of people do this with jQuery because jQuery is like just very easy to do things like this with. I wonder how I would do this with React. That would be cool. We'll have to do that one day on a React project. But the benefit of doing it with JavaScript is that you can do different things. You can have a different speed of the parallax effect. You could have different effects of, like, you got things coming in from the side and moving. So you can do a lot of crazy things. I don't really like a lot of that stuff going on. It's distracting sometimes, but it can be cool if done well. But it would work, you know, on any device that has JavaScript enabled. So you're gonna be able to have it work, you know, on an iPhone running Safari. So you have more control. But I mean, it just kind of depends on what you need, right? This is by far the easiest way to do it, and for me, it's worked for most cases. And where are we at? Yeah. So again, we get that effect, and it just seems as if this is staying still in the background, this image, and everything else is just flowing over top of it. Alright, so I think that's it. I want to see how fast we did that. Okay, not bad. We took up a lot of the time, and so we're almost right about the time when I wanted to be finished. So I'm going to go through and answer some more questions. I know this was kind of a shorter video. If you can't stick around for the question and answer, that's awesome. You know, just thank you for being here and watching. If you can stick around, that's great too. Please put your questions in now, and if you can help answer questions, I would appreciate that. So let me scroll up to where I left off. Okay, cool. So not too much. So we should get through this in a few minutes. Abdul Aziz says good evening. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Oh, Rashid says, I love this video lessons. They really pull me up. And Xenon says, me too, bro. That's awesome. I'm glad you that does that for you. I really appreciate you saying that. Okay. Okay. So Sparwheel says, why is there more than one CSS file? I love that question. This project, this website was built before I started working here 2 years ago, and it's been worked on by a lot of different people. So a lot of different people at the company that initially made it, and then different people here at the university. And it seems like everybody just kind of added their file. There was no attempt made to minify or concatenate anything. So I have made some attempts to cut things down, but there's still a lot. So we're going to systematically try to get rid of as much as we possibly can. All right, there's some jQuery plugins that were in here, and you know their CSS stuff is just sitting in those files, and their JavaScript. So that's why it's kind of a mess. Normally I would never have set this up like this, you know, if I was doing it from scratch. But there's quite a lot. Hopefully we don't need that much, and we can get rid of most of it. Oh, okay. Actually, John B, maybe I misunderstood the question, because John B's answer is a little bit different. And that's probably because I didn't remember at what point we were at when that question was asked. So if you were referring to all of these, which I didn't realize it was still on the screen, which you probably were referring to, then ignore what I just said before. While true, that probably wasn't what you were talking about. These are all do they call them partials? I don't know what they call them for Sass, but basically these are partials. So they have this underscore underneath here. So these are all meant to be brought in to a different file. So if you see this Materialize.SCSS, we import all these partials, right? All those smaller files. So you actually do end up with one Sass file that gets compiled or transpiled, or whatever we want to call it. What do we call it with from Sass to CSS? I don't know. Is it compiled, transpiled, processed? I'm not sure. But anyway, it gets changed into this Materialize.CSS. So basically, you know, pretty much like John B was saying, these are all, it's just a way of organizing all the different features so that you could easily go in as a developer and change what you need, leave out some of what you don't need. You know, I could go in here, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. I could go in here into this main file and just comment out, you know, let's say I didn't need the nav bar. I just comment out the nav bar, and now when everything gets changed into regular CSS, all the navbar stuff is gone. Now I have found that Materialize is built in a way that some of you can't just do that. Some of these depend on each other, so you will get errors at times. So you have to be careful about that. It's not so straightforward, but you could build it in such a way that it would be more straightforward like that. But I've been able to do what I need to do and get rid of a lot that I'm not using before pretty easily like this. All right. Okay, so Shay asks, hey Jesse, how did the weekend project go? You were working on something for your Udemy class, weren't you? Yeah, well, my Udacity class. But yeah, so I was hoping that it would be finished and I could actually show you a demo, although I don't really have time to do that today anyway, so maybe tomorrow I can get it finished, but it's almost finished. So yeah, so thanks for asking. I worked on it like all day. So I worked on it Friday after I got home from work for a while, and like all day Saturday, and then I stayed up late Saturday night. So I did a lot of work on it. I got so much done. It's really, I cleaned things up quite a bit. It's with Redux, and my reducers were just like a mess, and now I've cleaned it up a lot, and it's working a lot better now. So basically it's like a blog site with comments, and you can vote. So you can upvote or downvote the blogs and the comments. You can add comments, delete or edit comments, and the same thing with posts. So I have all that functionality ready. I think the last thing I did was I needed to be able to sort the posts by date or by vote. So I got that working. I just need to apply it to comments as well. And I'm pretty sure that's the last thing. After that, I just need to just fix the UI a bit. It's really basic. The UI is I'll show it to you because I'm kind of like just really messing around and making a silly kind of UI for fun. So I'll let you see it when I'm finished. So at that point, I'll turn it in, and then they'll do a code review. So somebody from Udacity will do a code review, and then if anything needs changed, they'll give it back to me. And it's cool. Even if I've met all the requirements, I'll still get suggestions for how to make it even better, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've started the third section, which is React Native. So I've already started into those lessons, even though I'm not done with the other project, because sometimes I can just read the lessons and watch the videos, but I'm not really in a spot where I can actually code something. So I could even do the lessons on my phone when I'm just waiting in line somewhere. So I've started to get to that. I'm really excited about that. So far it just looks really cool. Let's see. Oh, Brett asked, do you have any Redux code up on GitHub? I do. So the project that I'm working on that I was just telling you about is up on GitHub. Let me show you. I don't remember what the name of it is, so that's why I'm going to show you. Let's see. Here we go. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, so it's my Udacity React ND Readable. A month ago, 2 days ago. Yeah, this must be it. Yep. Yeah, so the sorting was the last thing I did. So this is it. You can check it out. In order to run it, you have to run, there's a server that runs as well, so you'd have to get that from Udacity. So I really need to put that in the README. But basically you run the server and you make the API calls to the other server. So you wouldn't be able to get any like if you tried to run this, you wouldn't get any of the information from the API calls, but you could at least see what's going on there. And I'm sure I'm making so many mistakes because it's the first time I've ever tried to use Redux. So so just if you want to check it out, like to get some ideas or to be exposed to Redux, just disclaimer, I'm not sure that I'm even doing it right. I haven't even turned in my project yet, so I'm almost positive that that's not the best way to set up a Redux project. I'm sure that there are much better things I could be doing, because it's my first time. Like the odds of me getting it perfect from only doing it once are so small. So check it out if you want to, but I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that that's a good example. Let's see. Philip said, when I was trying to ask what you call changing Sass to CSS, he says trans process file. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a name for it. I'm just not sure what it is. Okay, let me double check and make sure I got everything. Okay. Alright, cool. I think I did get through everything. Let's see. I kept thinking that I was missing something. Like I missed somebody's question. I was going to go back to it. I'll just take maybe like 10 seconds just to double check because I don't want to miss something. Oh, okay. Now I know what I saw. Okay, so there was a comment earlier about the lessons, like these video lessons, it says that they really pull me up, and that reminded me. I just want to talk about this just for a minute, because I need to. Yeah, okay, so I can spare a minute for this. Although if you know me, it's definitely going to be more than a minute. It'll probably be more like 5. But I just wanted to say, I do hear from time to time, like, people will talk about in the live chat, like motivation, the idea of like how do you stay motivated, and then, you know, some people it's, you know, just stay motivated to keep doing projects. Some people get down because they're looking for work and they just can't find it. So just wanted to talk about that just really briefly, because I know you all are going through some stuff like that. So I think I mentioned this here and there before, but like I struggle with motivation a lot. I do my best to try to sound as upbeat as I can during the videos, so I don't want to be, you know, just really boring and down. I'd rather be positive and upbeat for everyone. But like I struggle, especially in the morning, you know, starting to get going, and one of the things that there's a lot of things that help me. So like we've talked about this before, like exercise is a big thing that helps. Caffeine helps me, right? Vitamins and things like that. So staying healthy in general helps out, but sometimes, you know, even more. So basically, like I recently have been getting like just super depressed and not motivated, and I've been struggling with depression and, you know, taking medication for it for years, and recently, like, it just got really worse, and I got put on another medication in addition to the one I've been taking, and I had crazy side effects, so I got off of that one and then had to wait a couple weeks to see someone else and get on a different medication, and now I'm taking something different, but it takes a while to kick in, so it'll be like, I don't know, like a month to 6 weeks before I can really tell. And if it works, great. If not, I'll have to switch to a different one. So I'm just saying, like, if anybody's struggling out there, struggling with that kind of thing, like, I know how difficult that is. So, you know, I'm open to if anybody needs to talk on Twitter, or if you want to bring it up in the live chat or something. So, you know, I know a lot of other people struggle with things like that, and sometimes it is just, you know, you get a little bit of exercise and that helps, but other times it's more than that. And I don't know, for me, like, a lot of people just don't talk about it from, you know, where I'm at. I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but it's kind of something that just, like, you keep hidden, and I don't think that really helps. It doesn't help people very much to keep it, you know, to try to keep it hidden. I think it's better to talk about it. So I mean, this stream isn't a mental health stream, right? It's a coding stream, so I'm still going to keep it like 90% coding. But, you know, if we're chatting at the end, doing question and answers, like, you know, definitely open to any insight you all have. You're going through something like that. I'm open to talking about that, or talking privately about it. But I'm going to do my best to keep putting on these videos. I almost didn't stream today because I was just feeling so down. It came down to the wire. I didn't announce the stream until about a half hour before I was going to, because I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get motivated. But luckily I did. I always feel better after I stream and you know, talk with you all. So anyway, that's my that's my heart to heart for today's stream. But actually, I do want to check to see if anybody responded to any of that before I end the stream. I guess that took less than 5 minutes, so that's not bad. I know I tend to go on and on at times. Let me double check really quickly, see what's here at the end of the live chat, and then we'll wrap things up. Okay. Kevin says, I don't actually like coffee. Should I reevaluate my life as a developer? I don't know, maybe. You know, everybody says that developers, like, they drink coffee and produce code, right? I actually don't drink coffee that much either. I mean, you've seen me. I switched to energy drink. I drink G Fuel, and I feel much better. I still like the taste of coffee, but I feel much better if I drink the G Fuel instead of coffee. Probably because there's a lot of B vitamins and stuff in there that coffee doesn't have. Okay, Brett says, Jesse, I built my resume site from your videos and your FUS Marcom / CI React project. You're super helpful. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. If you get a chance, send me a message on Twitter or some social media, and send me. I'd love to see your resume and see how you built it. That would be cool. I mean, obviously you based it on mine, but I'd be really interested to see like where you changed things and how you did things. So if you don't mind and you get a chance, send me the link, please. Oh, okay. I just saw you. I didn't notice the second one, so I see that now. So I will check that out. So if you're wondering why I was laughing, he actually did put the link in right after that, and I just didn't even notice it. Okay, I'm just typing it in so I make sure I got it right. Cool, I see it. Awesome. I'm gonna check this out. Well, I gotta go to a meeting in a couple minutes, but I'll check it out maybe when I get back from the meeting. Maybe I'll bring my laptop to the meeting and check it out during. We'll see. All right, so thanks. Thank you everybody for watching, contributing in the live chat. Really appreciate that as always. And I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll work some more on this. And maybe we'll do. I don't know. I might do the footer tomorrow. I think I want to skip. I'm going to skip down and clean up the footer. Since it's already there and we could already see it, I want it to look nice. So maybe we'll skip to there, and then we'll start working on the main content. All right. Let's see. Okay. Wow, this video is less than an hour. I haven't done that in a while. Shortest video for a long time. So I'm going to end it so it stays less than an hour. Yeah, so that's all for me. Have a great day.